Next, I'd like to call up David Palmer. David, for people who don't know you, David started, first of all, you live in the Brookside area, right?
Yes,
okay.
that's right.
So he's a resident. You started something called Purposeful Design. It's on your t-shirt.
Yes, there we go.
Imagine you knew that when you put it on. Would you do us a favor and just tell us what is Purposeful Design? Who do you employ? Just tell us about it.
Sure.
Right?
Thank you. Purposeful Design is a not-for-profit organization, and it exists for two reasons. One, to create jobs for some men in our city who don't have one, and secondly, to do on-the-job discipling. And we're located a short distance from here at 16th and Sherman, and what we do is we hire men out of a place like Wheeler Mission, for example, maybe men who have struggled with an addiction, for example, and all kinds of problems that come along with that, but have found some freedom from their addiction and are wanting and ready to get back to work, but are finding obstacles between them and work. And so we hire and we train them to make beautiful, handcrafted custom furniture that we then sell to create a revenue stream to pay for the jobs.
So you were a furniture expert when you started this, right?
No, I wasn't. I didn't and don't know anything about furniture or making furniture or woodworking or production.
Didn't you start having guys make tables out of pallet wood or something?
We did. Purposeful Design really started with a simple prayer. I had been on the board at Wheeler Mission for a long time and visited Wheeler Mission, as my friend Nick does, and led a lot of Bible studies there. And when I would go, I was with men, and I'd so often say, "How are you doing?" And very often the answer was, back to your 1, 2, 3, I'm looking for a job. And I just felt, when I heard that, I felt sorry for them, and I wished that I had some magic dust I could sprinkle in the air and there'd be some jobs that would appear, but I was just dumbfounded by the situation. But I feel like God urged me at one point, moved in me to ask him about it. Because I was clueless, but I just felt like I ought to pray about this. And my prayer was simply, God, what do you say about this? And God, is there something that you'd have for me in this? And I was hoping he'd say, nope, I got nothing for you. Keep doing what you're doing. But after I prayed that, God began to move, as he does. He's famous for moving. And once some other men came along, and we all started praying this together. And I was, back to the pallets, I was just doing something on the internet one day, and I bumped into this idea of taking old pallets and breaking them down and making kind of cool furniture, cool urban kind of furniture, repurposing wood. And so we thought, well, maybe we could train, it looked kind of easy. We thought maybe we could train some men to do that, and maybe somebody would want to buy this stuff. So that is where we started. It's not what we're doing now, but it's where we're starting.
Right. And didn't you just end up with some huge contract with Salesforce when they moved into the tower to make beautiful conference tables for them? We did.
Or something? We've been really fortunate. God has definitely put a wind in our sail. In spite of ourselves, what we're doing is not a result of some great strategic plan or some profoundly well-executed business approach. But I think God has opened some doors, and some of our biggest customers are like Lilly and Salesforce and Purdue University and Notre Dame and other businesses around. And quick story, a businessman that was up in the Salesforce tower, appreciating the beautiful furniture that Purposeful Design had made, and it was there on the floors, he was pondering that, and he said, "Isn't it cool that this beautiful furniture here in this building was made by men who used to be homeless in front of the building?" And that's kind of what it's about.
Yeah. I heard that story the other night when I was over at your place, and I heard somebody yell out, "I was one of those men." Yeah. So it's true. Yeah. That's amazing. So we're in a city where we get a lot of accolades for small business growth and economic development news, all being positive in a lot of ways. And Purposeful Design would look, if I just looked at where you started in this little church building and where you are now in a much bigger facility and all the people that you have there, you might think on the surface that that's really what it's all about, like a business growing. In your words, what is it all about?
Well, for me, it's a walk of faith. It's very personally, it's a walk of faith. I didn't come up with some big idea here, and I don't have any ideas now, really. I think it's a walk of faith. The Lord has led us, and it's been a good character. You were talking about character development. That's what I need, character development. And little things that trip me up along the way. Like at one point, we've been really fortunate. Business has grown a lot. Last 2 years, more than double each year. And so that's good. But there was a season in that, and in terms of my own character development, when things got dry. In business, sometimes things get dry, and that's not a happy, fun place to be in. And so I felt for a while like a loser, and I started trying to look deep within to see why am I aching so much over this. And with the help of the Lord, it was revealed to me that my biggest concern at that point, my biggest reason for sorrow in the midst of the downturn, was that I was afraid that my friends wouldn't think I was accomplishing anything significant. So a man full of pride and that kind of stuff. So this is more than a business for me personally. Mm-hmm. It's a walk of faith, and another part of my walk of faith and a revelation to me was that then on the other hand, when things are going well, it's really easy for me to find myself kind of beating my chest, thinking, "Wow, haven't I done well here?" And so to combat that, the Lord gave me an idea. So you asked about business. For me, this isn't really about a business journey. Right. This is about a journey toward the Lord. So what I do now very frequently to combat my natural inclination to be puffed up with pride if things are going well is that I now have a habit where I get down on my knees right away when something good happens, and I give thanks to the Lord, just as a reminder to me that who's at work here. If there's something good, it is in fact the work of the Lord, that not my genius that came up with it.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think the organization means to the men who work there? Talk about them a little bit.
I know they love it. It means a lot to them. The men that we work with have come from a life of being a destroyer. In the way they were living, they were destroying everything within reach, and some things that probably weren't within reach. Their families, their jobs, any possessions they destroyed, all their relationships, everything was destroyed in their path. And now they're making beautiful things that people ooh and ah over, and they're making beautiful things that people are saying, this is quality. Eli Lilly looks at our quality, and they have 4 quality brackets, they say, and A, B, C, D, and they say that the furniture that our men make is in the A quality bracket. There's no supplier of Eli Lilly Company. It's in a higher quality bracket than the things our men are making. So it gives them a sense of hope and of future and confidence. And then, not only that, they're making beautiful furniture, but they're taking home a paycheck to maybe a wife, maybe for some kids, where before they were not taking home a paycheck. Like one of our guys, he burned his family once by coming back at night. He didn't even live there, but he came back at night, and he left with the refrigerator and the stove because he could get some money for him. So, but now, different story. They're a source of good for their reunited family, and it's helping. Amazing. Amazing.
Well, I found Purposeful Design is pdindy.com, right? On the web, is that right? And what's your address now?
It's the northeast corner of 16th and Sherman. We'd love to have visitors come and tour.
Got to see it. It's amazing. And the thing to do is to talk to the men who work there, because it means so much to them. What you've done for them is just incredible.
They have new life in Christ. They really do. It's beautiful.
That's right. Thank David. Thank you. Thanks, David.